Hello everyone, and you're very welcome to the Maroon White Pod. We're delighted here to be in Taaffes, and I'm joined by three former Galway footballers in Micheal Lundy, David Wynne and Ronan Steede. First, we're joined here now by Micheal Lundy. Micheal, it's safe to say you do love a good celebration.
I suppose, yeah. That was probably an important moment in a county final, so if you can't celebrate that, what can you celebrate, I suppose?
And David, you love fashion shows.
That's not fair now, in all fairness. Lundy got a soft one now compared to me, yeah. That's a long time ago, that's before I started playing football. That was my swimming career, that's how I got fit.
And Ronan, probably what the two boys don't have is a black card in the FPD League.
Yeah, I think I actually have two. I think I got maybe the first one that got brought in, but I don't know. That was a bit hard done by, I think, by the referee.
Yeah, David, just on that, the My Cullen lads were prepared to throw you under the bus, but Kerfin lads, everything was kept quiet.
Yeah, so you got a lot of messages and photos of me, of course, yeah. And the Kerfin boys sent in no photos, yeah. That's great, that's good to know. That's good to know, yeah. I'll log that. I'll bring that back to the team meeting now for Sunday, yeah.
In the review.
Yeah, in the review.
Just with that, lads, you obviously had great days together playing Galway football. Micheal, on a week like this, do you start to miss the crack that you would have had when you were with Galway?
Yeah, you'd be very jealous. Obviously, I've never fortunate enough to play at that stage of it in the All-Ireland Championship. Galway haven't been around that scene too often. I know this is their second time now in 3 years, so that group of players, obviously they're blessed, but they're well deserving to be there. So obviously it's not just a couple of weeks' work goes into this. This is years and years of hard work with these lads, so they are where they deserve to be, and fair play to them.
What's so special when you're in there about being involved in an intercounty setup?
I think it's just like you come in like kind of family. You spend so much time because you're kind of closed off from the outside world. Everyone is committed to being where the Galway footballers are at the minute. Like when you're in there in January, that's what you're aiming to be, is in an All-Ireland final in the end of the summer. So like that's the dream you have, and then you're committed to do that, and you know everyone beside you in the dressing room has the same commitment. So you spend a lot of time together. You're obviously all wishing to get to the same place, so there's probably just a bond builds there. You spend so much time and commitment, and you kind of go through a lot of rough days training, and it's not just all sunshine and Crow Park. Like there's a lot of slogging out in Loch George, and you know that's parcel of of the journey, I suppose.
Do you listen to Andon on the outside when you're in there, David?
Yeah, I think, look, in today's day and age, it's impossible to miss it, you know, and players might say that they don't see it, or they don't read papers, or they don't see Instagram, but, you know, that's just not the reality. It's everywhere. So you do see it, but you do, I suppose, become a little bit immune to it. You know, you use it as fuel, and as Micheal said there, like, when you're in that group, you know, you spend so much time together, and it's kind of the only real time that you spend. And the reality is, even like friends outside of the group, and you know, even family, you know, they're asking you questions, and you're kind of giving them generic, you know, for want of a better word, bullshit answers. You know what I mean? Just to kind of, you know, get them off your back. But the truth is, the only real conversations you're having are with the boys that are in that group, that are all kind of pulling together, heading for the same goal. So when you see, you know, little snippets written that might be having a quote, or, you know, mightn't be the most complimentary, it generally ends up being a positive thing, because it can bring the group together. And I think that's where this group now, this Galway group, are at the minute, because there has been the detractors. I don't think at the start of the year many people thought Galway were going to be in an All-Ireland. You know, there was injuries and there was different things going on, and all that stuff, you know, works together, you know, and it molds the group together. And then when you do have a win that people weren't expecting, it's kind of like a little, you know, a little nugget of confidence for the whole group. So I think Galway are in a great they're in a great place going into this final from that kind of standpoint. But yeah, mentally they've been through a lot over the last couple of years. Yeah.
You've got a lot of credit from your own local bear, Mike Cullen, about predicting this Dublin win in the quarter-final. Not a lot of people did predict it, but you're fairly vocal with it.
Yeah, I also had a tweet there. I also had a tweet before the hurling that said Cork were going to win. There'd be no goals in the hurling, so I won't take. I won't take too much credit for that. No, yeah, no. Listen. I swing for the fences. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. So yeah.
Would you miss a Ronan on a week like this, like being involved with Galway?
Of course, yeah. I think everyone would that was previously involved in the Galway setup. Like, it's a great place to be when up to an All-Ireland final. Like, everyone's buzzing in the panel and around the town, like around the county. Sorry. So yeah, you would miss it, like being part of the setup. Like, and it's a great place to be, like, because they become your closest friends. Like, because you do the same things together. Like, and you train together. You put in the hard work. So you would miss because you have the same goal at the end of the day, like, so to be in there and to run out in Crow Park on All-Ireland final day, of course, anyone would miss it, like, of course.
What do you think has changed with Galway football, in your own point of view, being in 2 All-Ireland finals now over the last 3 years? Like, what's the big thing that's changed for you?
I actually don't know. Probably just like the refreshness of young lads coming through, like, they all have that drive to succeed, maybe. Not saying that previous players didn't, but like, I think PJ has like instilled belief in the young players and like giving them a chance and to express themselves, and they have a set goal, game plan. And like, it's just going out there and giving young lads belief. I think like there's so many injuries during the league that he gave so many younger lads a chance and gave them belief as well. Like, so they've really built like a strong panel there together. Like, and lads that are coming off the bench are really making a positive impact because they have such confidence and belief from their league appearances.
Is that the thing, Micheal, when you look at the 20s that have come through, it's phenomenal. I think from that under-20 group, something like 13 players have played from that one under-20 team alone.
Yeah, no, I seen someone tweeted, I think the whole full back line or something was playing on that. And like that, like a lot of times in Galway in the past, they probably had success at underage, but it never transferred over to seniors. So I suppose probably with the bit of success the seniors had, it pushed them younger lads on to try and make that panel. And not only did they make the panel, like they made the panel better. And you can see they're few of them are mainstays now in the senior team. And obviously the success they got at under 20 level, they brought that confidence forward, and they're used to winning big occasions. They won that under 20 final was on in Crow Park, like, so they've played on the big day. So hopefully they go one step further and get the job done on Sunday.
What do you think's changed, David, to have us back as, I suppose, such a competitor within the last 3 years?
Yeah, like the boys have touched on it, but I suppose maturity is probably the word that comes to mind for me. Like Shaney, Damo, Sean Kelly. I feel like at times, maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, we're relying on those boys to put Galway on their back and carry us. And in fairness to Shane, in an All-Ireland final, he nearly did it. But really, it would have been a flash in the pan. I don't think anyone that year thought we were the best team in Ireland. Shaney had one of the all-time performances, but in reality, if you like to win All-Irelands and to be competitive consistently in All-Ireland semi-finals and finals, you need a squad, you need a panel. So the way it is this year with, Sean Kelly being injured, Shaney coming on, chipping in with 2 or 3 points, Damo, the last day working back, putting in tackles, and then relying on boys who've got time in the league, like, Dylan McHugh has turned into a new player. Sean McKern has been brilliant. Obviously, the 2 cornerbacks, John Maher, etc. I could keep going. I think the last time I was talking to you, we were talking about Johnny Heaney and Cathal Sweeney in the middle of the league, and they're struggling to get on the pitch at the minute. So, building that panel, is just. I think that's where you need to be if you're going to. Dublin have shown us that's where you need to be if you're going to, win All Irelands and be competing for All Irelands year on year. So.
It's just hard to believe, Ronan, because even on the podcast this week, I was speaking with Sligo footballer Niall Murphy, and he was talking about that Sligo basically should have knocked Galway out. There was a bit of negativity around the league, but in the long term, that stood to us.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no, like, you have to win ugly games as well. Like, that brought probably Galway on an awful lot, like, brought them back down to earth, like, where they were, and probably had a few injuries, like, say, but that probably stood to them. I know it wasn't a great performance and everything. They probably had to review the game and had a very hard talk after it, but probably stood to them at the end of the day, like, because they just had to get back to basics and work hard for each other, and they were very lucky to come out of that with a win, but they were very, very lucky, but I think it stood to them at the end of the day.
Ronan, what's it like now as an ex-player in the lead up to an All-Ireland final? Do you embrace the hype? Do you embrace the support?
I think you have to just try and avoid it as much as possible. You just have to get off social media as much as possible. You have to just be with the players. Go out and whatever, you go to cinema, go out for a kickabout, do things together to keep your mind off and to both the All-Ireland final. And then it's all about just getting your routine right. They have your diet routine right leading up to any match, but you just have to get your sleep right, because in all fairness you probably won't sleep great the night before, or maybe 2 nights before the Ireland final, because you'll be thinking of stuff, what's going to happen in the game and everything, and overthinking things. But if you get your sleep right before the game, a week before the game, you'll be fine, and I think they just enjoy it themselves. But yeah, you just have to keep with the panel of players, keep outside noise to a minimum.
Micheal, with that, you've obviously experienced an All-Ireland final at club level. Would you just avoid talking about the game whatsoever now?
Well, it's different for the club, obviously, because it's only within the parish. Probably there's a bit of talk. Maybe the few big GA heads outside the parish would be wishing you luck on that. But it's different. These lads have to work in around Galway or wherever. Everyone, you can see everyone here is buzzing for the All-Ireland final, so it's different for them. But I think the lads majority of the squad have been through it 2 years ago, so they'll have that experience. They'll know how to manage it. They've been through the whole rigmarole of the parade and whatever the process of the All-Ireland final, so I think that will stand to them. So the experience, obviously, the younger lads weren't involved 2 years ago, but they have the under-20 success to their name, so I think that'll stand to them hopefully now on Sunday.
That's a challenge with it, David, as Micheal mentions there, that people have to come in this week and they don't want to talk about the game. They'll probably talk about the weather, slashing out, talk about anything else.
For the players now, or for me?
For the players, yeah.
For the players. For the players, forget about having any sort of a conversation with them, no matter how, if you're not in the squad, doesn't matter if you're family, best friend, girlfriend, wife, child, nothing, you know what I mean? It's just, weather's great, all feeling good, what's for dinner, move on,
Are you excited yourself ahead of Sunday?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I suppose when you leave the panel initially, there's kind of a sense of, maybe I could still be out there, but for me anyway, I don't know about the boys, but I'm far enough removed now. I'm a pure fanboy, do you know what I mean? I just want them to win, and I think it helps that I know when I'm watching the match, if I was out there, I'd be absolutely slaughtered. I wouldn't be able to move. You know what I mean? The level of it is just so high. When you're out of it for 2 or 3 years, you can actually go, do you know what? I really actually want them to win, and there's no kind of regret of, maybe I could have been there, maybe I could have been on the panel, maybe I could have got a medal. That kind of leaves you after maybe 2 or 3 years. So I know. Big fan now on Sunday.
With that, Ronan, you've obviously worked with PJ, and it's safe to say when PJ came in, the famous interview, if we don't win in All-Ireland, it's an underachievement. Just to give people an insight into Porrick, what's he like as a manager?
He's a great manager. He fills you with loads of confidence. When he said that, we probably thought, what's he on about, really at first, but he instills belief. He kept saying, we're going to win All Ireland, and his expectations were so high that we had to reach them really, and it took years and years, hard work, and training was very hard, and he brought that intensity and everything. But he's a great manager. He does everything by the book, great man management, and all the work he's put in, he deserves to be in All-Ireland final, and hopefully he can go on and win it.
Probably seen from your own time when you were there, the work was obviously being put in, but it's only now the rewards are starting to come.
Yeah, exactly. I said, like he instilled so much belief in the young lads as well coming through, like, you know, and he just sets the standards, like, you know, he knows how to win in All Ireland, obviously, and he has the medals to prove it, like, so he knows how much hard work it takes, like, and he's just brought that standard to his training methods and everything, like, in his management team that he brought in, like, you know, Keane Neal's a great addition, like, and he's doing great work. And just the players, like, they've really blossomed over the last maybe 2-3 years, like, you know, the younger lads, like Dylan McHugh, like, he's become a machine, like, you know, and I can see it in club level, like, but it's all the training he's doing with Galway, like, you know, and that belief and standards that he sets being in the county setup.
Micheal, Dylan McHugh, one of your own club mates. 2020 he was a sub for you. He's now in the running for Footballer of the Year. When you seen him in 2020, did you think he could always get to this level? Are you somewhat surprised the levels he's got to?
Yeah, no. It's not just like he didn't just come in off the street. We were a very successful team. He was a young player at the time. The one thing about Dylan, he was always a great footballer. He's not just like good footballer who got fit. He's a very smart footballer. Like, I wouldn't like to do him discredit by saying anyone could get as fit as he is and just do what he's doing. He's a very smart footballer. He studies the game so much. Like, he's an encyclopedia of football. He could probably name every county footballer in the country. He watches so much football. But yeah, no, like, to be fair, it was a tough team to break into. He was only young, but like over COVID, the work that fella did by himself.
Is that the biggest thing that changed, do you think?
Yeah, like he was always a great footballer, but he just brought his fitness levels to the next level, to the intercounty level, because he was always going to break into the Curfin team. There was no doubt about that at the way he was going, but he just made the decision consciously himself that he needs to get fitter, and he used that time of COVID very brilliantly, like, because he came out of it a different man. Like, his fitness levels went to probably one of the fittest now in the country, and he's well deserving of being up there nominated for Player of the Year, like, because it's not just this year, last year, the year before. He's always a solid 8 out of 10. He probably goes under the radar in 2022, but like, he's been consistent. He's a mainstay in the team, and he was injured a bit last year, and he was a loss to the team. So credit to him. It's a lot of hard work, but a lot of hard work on physically, but also tactically, he's up there with the best of them.
Yes, form has been sensational. The Galway captain, David, he's obviously your own club mate.
Yeah.
The big question is he fit?
I don't know. As I told you, it's how's the weather? It's how's the weather? How's the weather? What's for dinner? Yeah, no, look. I don't know. He obviously came off against Dublin. He's come in kind of struggling all year. 4 weeks with a hamstring is right on the edge. Now, look, I'm sure he's been up to the ice chamber in with AP McCoy and a few of the jockeys all week, you know, trying to expedite the process. But it's going to be right on the edge. So I have no idea. But what I do know is that, you know, Shawnee, in fairness to him, and I said it earlier, he's put this team on his back, you know, in the last 2 or 3 years at different times. And, you know, they're really repaying him this year. So whether he plays 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 1 minute, 0 minutes, there'll be no one more deserving of a medal if they do go on and win it than Sean Kelly, yeah. So
To a certain degree of devastation, though, too, for him, with the year he's had.
yeah, look, there is, of course. You know, of course, you're the captain of Galway. You know, you want to walk out in the parade. You want to lead your team. You want to lift the cup. Those are things that, you know, people dream of. You know, and he has the chance, and maybe an injury is going to affect that. But look, I know Shawnee very well. He won't be thinking about those kind of things at all. All he's going to be concentrating on in the next couple of days is get this hamstring right, give myself a chance to get on the pitch, and then whatever the management decide, he'll run with it, you know, and he'll lead. Like I said, whether he's on the pitch for the whole game, he gets 1 minute. If he doesn't talk at all, he'll be doing the same job as a leader. Yeah, and it should benefit Galway.
Apart from the Galway, like starting 15, I suppose the big talking point is Kelly in or not, Ronan. But would you see them going with the same team that bet Donegal?
Yeah, I'd say they will. Yeah, it's hard to change a winning team. Like, you know, I think if Sean, like, even is like 70-80% fit, I think that to start him, like, he's captain. Like, it's better like to start him and take him off instead of like chancing him, bringing on and maybe getting injured again and wasting 2 subs. So I think if he's 70-80, like, Sean's worked so hard. Like, I'm sure he'll try his best to be starting that match, and if he's anyway good enough, I reckon he'll probably start. Like, so they probably will go with the same team. With they probably other than Sean, maybe. Yeah.
Would you expect to say Micheal?
You got to put out probably your best team, and like that. I know sometimes everyone talks about the squad game and all that, but like sometimes with injuries, you have to risk it. Your chance of bringing him on to make an impact's up. If he's not 100%, how much of an impact can he make? Because you're always worried he's thrown into the heat of battle when they're going at 100 miles an hour, and if you're not fully fit, it's a tough place to be carrying a knock. If he's anywhere near that, you have to start him. He's one of Galway's best players. You put your best foot forward, and like that, the squad of players, the lads to come in, they've been doing the job all year. So if it was me picking it and Shawnee was 80+%, I'd start him. But that's not my job. PJ has to worry about that one.
There's been a lot of talk all week about the kind of game we can expect. The words that are being used is we're going to see a lot of control. Do you think these two teams, Micheal, could tear up the script this weekend and we're going to have a classic, or is it going to maybe follow patterns we've had this year?
I think there's probably it'll be in phases. Depends what comes. It could be Armagh. You don't know what to expect. Galway, you're trying to see. Hopefully they have the experience of 2 years ago. It's going to be a full house in Croke Park. It is going to be a huge occasion. Lads are going to be nervous. Balls could be dropped or whatnot. But like both teams do like to go forward. Armagh like to kick the ball. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to the third quarter, like the business end of the game, it is going to be very tactical because every ball is vital. Lads are tired. The last thing they want to do is be turning over ball, chasing back the field, because once you turn over the ball now, you're chasing after for maybe 2 minutes, and not only is it like physically demanding, like it's mentally draining. You just have to stay switched on for the whole time they have the ball, because every player can hurt you now. Cornerbacks are getting up scoring. A lot of scores are coming from the back line now, so there's no one you can leave free or leave on the ball.
What sort of game are you expecting, David?
Yeah, look, I hello. Of course, I get the gaming mic. Yeah, is that all right?
Yeah, I think you're on.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I think the way football is at the minute, and no more than the hurling at the weekend, it's going to come down to a couple of plays at the end of the game. You use the word control, and look, I think that is just the way it is. Teams are so evenly matched. It's going to come down to one or two really, really good decisions at the end of the game. I think, I know everyone is saying that Armagh might sit back. Like I watched Armagh against Donegal in the Ulster final, and is it Connaughty?
Connaughty, yeah, one forward.
Yeah, and they put him on Ryan McHugh, and he literally but he faced them up and it's the most annoying thing ever as a wing back. He literally stood in his face no matter what was going on the pitch, and I'd be very surprised if they don't do that to Dylan McHugh. I know other people are saying no, they're going to just fall back and let Galway play their game and they'll trust their defensive structure, but like the job he did in Ryan McHugh that day was outstanding, and to just let a footballer of the year get on the ball, carry ball and make good decisions when he's been so good, to me would be madness. I'd be surprised if Armagh don't do something to kind of detail Dylan McHugh, and then that kind of throws the cat amongst the pigeons, because you've got a man marking a fella behind the halfway line, which will open up space somewhere else. So hopefully it'll kind of lead to a bit of chaos, essentially, which is what everybody wants, isn't it?
Do you think we can get that, Ronan, that chaos early on?
I don't think we'll probably see it maybe the last quarter when maybe the two teams empty the benches. I think probably it could be a boring enough game controlling game, but they've drawn two of the last three meetings they've had, so it's going to be a tight game either way. It'll be interesting to see what they do with kickouts. I think Conor Gleeson won 12 out of 14 long kickouts the last time they were out against Donegal, and I think they're both the best defences this year, so it'll be very tight. Like, you know, I think it'll be very controlled, and you know, no one will want to make unforced errors. Obviously, there'll be a few nervous lads out there, and they will make a few errors, but it's about the team who will make the least amount of them errors. Like, but I think the chaos will come maybe in the fourth quarter when the benches come off. Like, we both have two very strong benches, so it could unsettle like patterns of play. Like, so I think that's when we'll see the chaos come about.
Sorry, do you think they'll go after McHugh, Armagh?
I don't think they will. I don't like the Ocean County will be on him, but I think like Ocean County likes very good attacking, but like I think he will just play his own game, going attacking wise. I don't think they'll man mark him or anything like. Hopefully not for us, like, but I don't think they will.
How do you see it, Micheal?
Whether they're going to mark Dylan McHugh.
Yeah.
If they do, they do. Like I said earlier, like he's not just one of the fittest. He'll run him. He'll run him all over the place. But he's tactically, Dylan McHugh is very smart. Like, so he'll probably try and bring him into positions he doesn't want to be. And even if he is being followed, he'll probably, I'm hoping, like he'll pull him into spaces that'll leave space for other forwards to get on the ball. Because if he knows he's going to follow him everywhere, just probably drag him away and try and create the spaces for Shaney, Damo, Rob Finnerty, and these Matty Tierney in the pockets to kick points. So if they do, they do. I think the form that Dylan's in, I'm just hoping he carries it through to the final. Like, I don't think the minute there's no one capable of marking him, and hopefully he continues that going forward on Sunday.
Just with that, the long kick out, David, we've been unbelievable at it this year. Armagh, though, were excellent in Sligo at setting traps.
Yeah.
So how do you see Galway approaching that if Armagh do set the traps again this weekend?
I think they're just going to go long. You know, I think they're just going to bomb it. I wouldn't even be considering a 60-40 short kick out. Galway, you know, they're getting great return and reward on the long kick out. Now, Donegal, I actually don't know. Donegal definitely got something wrong because Gleeson seemed to be picking out Matthew Tierney in 40 yards of space. There wasn't anybody near him, so Armagh are going to be all over that. There's no way that's going to happen the next day. Gleeson is going to have to either be pinpoint to kind of the sideline around midfield, or it's going to be bombs down on top of Matthew Tierney, Damo, John Maher, these boys. I don't think that clip that they got against Donegal out to kind of the 40-50 metre line is going to be on because there was some sort of a malfunction in the Donegal press, and Armagh are going to be wise to that.
Do you miss this now, Ronan, when they're booting it long out to the middle? Is that your dream?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Probably do miss it, yeah, right. But obviously, I wasn't the tallest midfielder, but yeah, like obviously, if Connor is a massive booting him, like, so it beats all the press, like, so, and then we can get on the breaks, like, so you would miss, like, because it's fun, like, if we win in midfield, like, it's open field, like, and with forwards, we have like Shane and Damo on side, like, you know, if we give them space and we get quick ball into them, like, sure, you'd love to be kicking balls into them because I think whatever way you kick it into them, they're going to win it, like.
It's old school in one sense, Micheal, but just on Damien and Shane, obviously Comer was held by Brendan McCole. Donegal did a terrific job on nullifying Shane Walsh as well. But is it just the biggest positive that these two boys are fit this weekend?
Oh yeah, it's huge. Like just having them on the pitch is massive because like that, Shane and Damo are always going to be picked up by the two best defenders of the opposition, and with that, they know they have a job to do. And with that, it probably gives Rob Finnerty a license, and it's probably Rob Finnerty plays his best football when Shane and Damo are playing because he gets that bit more freedom where he can come on, and you see Rob contribute a few points in the semi-final, which is going to be massive because I don't think in 2022 we probably were relying on Shane Walsh to kick 10 plus points to win an All-Ireland. I don't think we're relying on him this time around, but anyone who can contribute anything is going to be huge. But like having Shane and Damo on the pitch is massive because if they're fully fit, they can cause damage on the best of defenders. But even if they're quiet, they're probably taking the two best man markers out of the game, and it's creating a lot more space for the rest of the forwards there.
What is it about the two of them from playing with them?
Well, what is it not? Like you can see, everyone can see it on TV. You know what you get from Damo is honesty, pure rawness. He's probably a great pair of hands. He's both-footed. Like he's aggressive, probably with the ball. He's aggressive tackler without it. like he's a huge talent. He can kick off both feet and just in around the square. He's such strength. He can probably just break a tackle. So like you have to be man marking him, not give him a chance to sniff at goal. Whereas Shaney, you just have to kind of face him out the field. He's probably the most talented footballer in the country. You've seen it. I don't know how many times. He's left foot, right foot. It's not only that. Just the sheer size, strength of the man. He's probably quicker running with the ball than he is without it. The skill levels of him, like, they're second to none. So I think everyone knows that just looking in at them. That's what they bring every time they're fit.
Will we be afforded to leave the three in this weekend, David?
Will we be
afforded to leave Damien, Shane, and Rob inside at the weekend?
Yeah, I think they will leave the. I think they will leave the three up initially. Because it gives Armagh something to think about. It puts pressure on the cornerbacks. Look, you can't go Roman if you've got Damo Comer, Shane Welch, and Robert Finnerty sitting behind you. Now the other side of that is, and we've seen it against Donegal in the first half. When we leave three up, it basically means that it's 12 on 12 inside the 45, and that there's a lot more. When it's 12 on 12, there's so much more space than if it's 15 on 15. And I think we kind of suffered because of that against Donegal in the first half. Kind of let Oisín Gallen kind of go one-on-one in 20, 30 yards. And you've seen in the second half when we actually dropped the boys back, it was a lot harder for Donegal to get shots off. So I think they will start with it initially, but if Armagh start to find little pockets and can get shots off, I think at some stage Galway will drop one, if not two, back and maybe only leave one up.
On that, Ronan, our opponents this weekend, the colour and the noise they bring, it is something else.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day. Armagh are going to bring a great sport, and we'll bring a great sport. So it'll be a great day. It'll be full of colour. So can't wait for it. So it's going to be great.
Something we haven't touched on: matchups. Do you expect Johnny McGrath to be given the task again on Conor Turbot?
Yeah, I'd say definitely. Yeah, Johnny had a great year. He's marked all the marked men for the teams. Shane McGuigan, I think he did a great job on him, in the league. And the last day against Donegal, who was he on?
Gallen, was it?
Yeah. So he's done a great job throughout the year. He's very strong, in the tackle, so I wouldn't be surprised if he goes on Conor Turbot at all,
Apparently all he eats is spuz. Honestly. Aidan Claffey, buddy of mine from my Cullen, trained him under 18 or 19. Apparently he just eats potatoes non-stop, absolute animal.
That's the secret.
Yeah. Too late telling me no.
Just our other two quarterbacks, Sean Fitzgerald and Jack Lynn. Who do you see picking them up this weekend? Or who are they going to be picking up this weekend?
It's hard to know. Probably Jack will probably be following Grugan around the field, and then maybe, I don't know, if Rian O'Neill goes in, there's probably going to need Sean Fitzgerald for size. I'm not sure who's going to follow him back in the way.
Fitzgerald probably suits Mernon a bit, does he?
Maybe he does, yeah. Mernon's probably a big kind of physical presence in there as well. Sean Fitzgerald probably match up well. I know Rian O'Neill likes to float around the kind of in between the full forward and out to midfield. It's interesting to know who they'll pick. With the way it is, so many times games in transition, lads are switching back and over. It's rare that the same player is going to be marking the same man for the full 70 minutes. So I think Galway are well set up that before you were kind of reliant on the one man marker, but there's such confidence in the six defenders over the past few games that it probably doesn't matter who's matched up against who.
Does Liam suit Rian down to the ground, given he likes to drift as well?
Yeah, I think Liam Silk suits marking anyone. He's a great footballer. He's a great man marker. He's physical. He's fast. He's fit, and like that, he will go forward. So as a forward, you're marking the lad. Not only you're not getting the ball, but this lad's going up the field kicking points. Obviously, you have the different aspect there. Rian O'Neill is in the air. He's very strong in the air. So that's another side of things. I know Liam probably not struggled, but one or two from Conor Callahan in the quarterfinal in. But I think what it'll make up for if Rian O'Neill tries to turn, Liam Silk is just there in his face. So I think Liam Silk matched up very well with any forward in the country.
It's just interesting then, David, on the two wing backs, like we've talked will they man-mark Dylan McHugh, but even Sean Mulcair from the other side, because you have Joe McElroy there who likes to drop deep as well.
Yeah.
Do we just sit back there? Because we've seen during the year Galway have been comfortable doing that if other teams' wing forwards drop deep.
I think so. Yeah, like I think they've really refined their defensive structure. They obviously have a lot of belief in it. You know, they gain confidence from it. It's kind of the platform that sets them off. So they're not going to go tagging lads all over the pitch and sacrifice, you know, what they've been working on. In reality, it's probably 2 or 3 years in the making now. So I can't see Galway coming out of that kind of 45 halfway line. They're going to be very well set up. They're going to hope that, you know, Armagh, you know, pop balls into the middle, try and go down through the 11 channel, you know, into the honeypot essentially, because Galway have been brilliant at just getting bodies in and around there. So I don't see much. I don't see much change.
You just keep it the same of what you've been doing, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Like Galway, the last couple of times they've played Armagh, like truthfully, you know, they've probably been in front. You know what I mean? They've looked the better team. Now things have happened at the end of the game, but I think, you know, they'll look back on those videos and they'll think, right, let's stick to what we do. Let's not make any silly mistakes. You know, no stupid cards, no silly turnovers. Let's play our game, keep everyone on the pitch, and you know, we feel like we're the better side.
Just interesting then when it comes to midfield, you have Creeley and Grimley there, and they're two good ball winners, and maybe Armagh might deploy someone else into that middle third to match Galway. But what happens there if we do start losing it around the middle, Ronan?
I don't think we will. Like it'd be hard to see who's losing like the battle. Like really, I think it's hard to say. Like I think like Armagh might sit back and concede the kick out starting off maybe, because we won so much long, and probably on the stats we probably got good return out of goals that. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they drop off starting off maybe, because it's different playing in Croke Park than Markievicz. Like it's a bigger pitch and there's load more space. Like, and we know how attacking our wing backs are, and if Killy McDade, Matthew Tierney, they can score as well. And like you might even like see that Joe McElroy go back on Matthew Tierney. I heard maybe he might go back on him just to size wise and everything like. But be interested to see if we do lose the midfield battle. Like I don't think we'll do anything draft like, but we have the bodies out there. Like we've Keane Darcy as well, like size wise to match up with anyone. Like, and obviously Johnny Maher and Paul Conroy. Like I think I have every faith in them to win that battle.
I know you know Killian fairly well, but do you feel Killy McDade's at his peak now?
I don't think so. He's playing some great football. Like, you know, I think he got injured last year, and like coming back, like he's really refreshed. Like, you know, he's playing great football. But like for a young lad, he's great. He can do so much more. Like, you know, he's a super footballer. Like we all see, like he's a massive engine on him, and he's popping up with great scores. Like, but I think he'll be pushing himself to do great things. Like, you know. But he's a fantastic player, yeah. He's really come on, strength and bounds.
How do you see our attackers and their mad defence? Do you think we have an advantage there, Micheal?
Yeah, obviously biased towards the Galway lads. I think we probably won the best attacks. Like we have a lot of probably big presence around the half forward line, but the full inside forward line, they're capable of kicking the lights out any day. Like I said, if Shane and Damo are manned up, that gives Rob Finnerty a bit more licence, and maybe then Rob Finnerty starts going well, probably they might have to switch men on him, and you can't be switching your best man off Shane and Damo, because to be honest, like with Shane, you seen him, he was quiet for 30 minutes up in Sligo, and then in the blink of an eye he kicked 2 worldies just before half time. So that's what you get with Shane. He might be quiet for long periods of the game, but he only needs that minute to turn it on. But like I think our forwards probably, I don't know, I'm very biased obviously, but I think we match up well obviously against Armagh, yeah.
It's interesting because obviously we're going to have the numbers that drop into the middle, but Killian's going to run, Matthew will stay there at stages. There's still a massive threat even there when we don't play with a traditional half forward line.
Oh yeah, someone always drops probably between Shaney or Damo sometimes comes out, or even Rob. There's always probably someone probably linking in a line. There's probably someone probably you want at the half forward line and maybe keep 1 or 2 inside. Like that, lads are being pulled up and down the field, but that's why we have great strength in Shane and Damo, probably, or even Rob Finnerty's a great ball winner, but probably the running half back line is a huge addition as well. Obviously, it's a threat that probably creates space for the forwards because they're probably conscious of those runners coming from deep.
I was referencing the point during the week, David. This Armagh team haven't won many trophies under Geezer. Galway, 3 Connacht titles in a row, back in their second All-Ireland final. Do you think if we have them down the stretch, are we at an advantage there?
Yeah, look, it's no harm that Galway have actually seen out some big games. You know, they've won some trophies, won some cups. You know, that will definitely stand to the Galway lads. But the other side of that is this Armagh group, like Ciara McGeeney is there 10 years. Do you know what I mean? So, and they've been very, very close a couple of times. You know, every year they're talked about as kind of the coming team. You know, they've got some really, really good players. So I wouldn't be leaning into that too much. I wouldn't be relying on it. Like, if it is very close at the end, like I love our bench. I think, you know, it's kind of what's brought us forward this year. We've got some really, really good experience coming off the bench there, you know. But Armagh are the same. Armagh have players on that bench that can change a game. So, look, like I said earlier on, if it's tight at the end, it's going to come down to 1 or 2 decisions. And, like, to be very honest, you know, what medals you have in your pocket from years previous aren't going to matter much. You know, it's going to be that, you know, 7, 9, 10 minutes, whatever it is, towards the end of the game. And hopefully our boys have enough maturity now, you know, to kind of see us over the line if that is the case.
That's the thing, isn't it? Like, we're talking about an All-Ireland final here. It takes on a life of its own.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's it exactly. You know, but look, your point is valid. You know, seeing out Mayo this year in the Connacht final, Gleeson's kick at the end, that'll stand to those boys. Been in the All-Ireland final, the boys that played in 2022. You know, you'd hope that they'll won't let the occasion get to them. You know, they'll know that you win. Or nothing else matters, you know. So they will have that mindset going in, and hopefully, you know, it'll stand to us, and you know, we can come off the pitch as All-Ireland champions.
We have seen with this, Ronan, and we'll expect no difference this weekend. But 22, obviously, with the famous penalty shootout last year in Carrick, they pipped us. Sligo, they drew with us, but it was enough to get them through. Like, there's been nothing between these sides. It's nearly been the start of a rivalry in the last 3 years.
Yeah, it has. We've had some great games, like, you know, some epic battles, and I'm expecting the same the next day, like, you know, like, the players know each other so well at this stage, and the managers know each other so well, like, you know, so tactically wise, I don't think there's nothing new there, really. They know each other, like, so it's just all about who wants to win it the most, like, and who's willing to put their body on the line to put a block in, to dive on a ball for a break, and just to able to do them the hard yards, like, you know. So I think we're in for an epic battle, like, because it probably won't come down to tactics in the day, like, come down to, like, the bench. It'll come down to who makes the least mistakes, who's more clinical up front, and all them sort of small basics.
Why do you think it's been so close with these two sides over the last few years?
I don't know, like, they're both great teams, like, you know, they're probably play the same way, like, in a way, like, you know, they're well set up defensively and have great forwards that can score, like, and they're very big around the middle, like, you know, and, you know, probably the hunger of not winning so long is driving both managers on and the players on. So I think, like, it's very evenly matched, like, and we're in for a great game.
There's been a lot talked about during the week, but it definitely does feel in this game, Micheal, like a goal is massive.
Yeah, as you should probably look what Galway conceded 1 goal, and it's through probably a lost kick-out, short kick-out was against Armagh. Armagh have only conceded 3 goals. 2 were against Down in probably a team they probably took for granted in the Ulster semi-final. So they only outside that they only conceded 1 goal, and that was Kerry the last day. So, like, a goal is going to be massive. Like, I probably think the winning of this game is probably in a mistake. Which team makes it? I think Galway have been probably the better team in the past 3 games against Armagh, but it's probably their mistakes that have led Armagh back into the game. Probably should have seen out 2022 very comfortably. They were playing probably for a draw last year against them, and then got caught with a turnover towards the end, and we missed a free to level it, and again we got caught in a short kick out. So it's an interesting one. I think, like, that a mistake is probably going to be the winning and losing of this game, and hopefully that's on the Armagh side. I think Galway defence is really tightened up.
Is that coming from a short kick out?
I think, it was. I think when Galway go long, they're probably set up more structurally that even if they do lose it, they're in a set defensive shape that, worst case, they're probably only going to concede a point, not a goal. That one there, if you see, there was obviously a great angle of it on the Sunday game where from behind the goals, John Daly was on, but Turbill obviously just turned at the right time and stole in. It is a bit of luck, or unlucky for Galway, but obviously fair play to Armagh. Your man was switched on and he got it short. Like that, I think Kickouts going to be huge next day. Gleason's kickouts were probably his best ever in the semi-final, so hopefully he can build on that and it'll be a huge platform for Galway.
Do you change anything, David, on the Armagh short kickouts? Because in Sligo they scored 110 from 112 out of short kickouts.
Say that again from Armagh's point of view.
Yeah, no. So when we played them in Sligo, we conceded 110 out of Armagh's 112 from their own short kickouts.
Okay, so they were getting short kickouts off, and it was 110. Yeah. So look, Galway aren't renowned for their press, I think, at this stage. So I just don't think that 2 weeks now to an All-Ireland final, it's time for a drastic change. I think the majority of the time they're probably going to let Armagh have the ball and believe in the structure that they have at the back. From time to time they might press and force them long because obviously Galway have the bodies out the field. But I personally don't see a big change from that perspective because they haven't really done it all year, so I can't see them getting much change out of it now.
Is it not a worry though when you're scoring that much off it?
Yeah, look, it probably is. It probably is. But at the same time, you kind of have to weigh it up. You have to say, what's more important here? Do we want to make sure that we're set up in our defence and then, trust it, or do we want to do something that we haven't actually committed to, haven't done so much work on, haven't done in a big game, and kind of, see how it works out? I'd be more inclined to stick to what you know. You know what I mean? I'd say they're going to let them have the majority of the kickouts. They'll get them out. And again, I think it was Ronan said earlier, it's a lot harder to press a kick out in Croke Park, and you boys will know, than it is in Markovich Park or somewhere like that. There's just that extra bit of space. So I'd be surprised if you've seen a full-out Galway press for the majority of the game.
So before we get final predictions, Ronan, we'll start with you. Where do you think this game is going to be decided on Sunday?
It's hard to know. I think matchups might cancel out each other, and it'll be maybe a Keane Darcy, Rob Finnerty, as Lundy said. Them sort of players that might do something special and have a big day. They might be clinical. And the same on their Armagh side. The lads that aren't pinpointed or man marked, they might have a big game. But I think the midfield, back to the middle, 8 there is going to be massive. If we can get break even or even get on top there at majority stages, I think we'll get good ball into the forwards and they can do the damage. I just think we need to even with their main players like Reen O'Neill, that Barry McCabe scored 2 goals I think in the last 2 games, so he needs to be stopped, but he'll be picking up Shane, I'd say. So there's other lads, Conor Turbill, if we can even out with them, keep them to minimum scores, I think we'll be doing well. But I think it could come down to maybe Rob, maybe Darcy, maybe Keane or John Maher having a big game.
The bench is something we actually haven't mentioned really, Lundy. It could easily come down to that because both have played huge roles this year.
Yeah. No, especially in the quarterfinal, Johnny Heaney and Tomo came on and kicked 2 huge points, which is massive. And then you have Stephen Campbell, Charlotte Burns, and these lads coming on for Armagh. Stephen Campbell seems to be probably the 16th man, the super sub this year. He's made such an impact off the bench. So it's going to be important that when he is sprung from the bench, that probably is. Obviously, Gaul will have done the homework. That probably someone's going to switch on him straight away because he is arguably probably outside of Turbot their most gifted forward. I know Ryan O'Neill can you class him as a midfielder, but he's a serious operator and he just finds pockets of space and he's just going to click in. So the impact off the bench is going to be huge. If they can contribute 2 or 3 points from Galway's bench and limit Armagh to probably only a point or even no score off their bench, it's going to be huge. That's going to be because it's it's in the crunch end when these subs are coming on. So any contribution on the scoreboard is huge.
What do you see coming down to David?
I think exactly what Micheal has said. I think it's going to be the bench. Micheal mentioned Stephen Campbell there. A funny story. We played Armagh in 2016 in a league game, and it was myself, Deckyne, and Cathal Sweeney in the full back line, and Deckyne started on him. We didn't know who he was. He had white socks, he had lovely tan, didn't know who he was. Kicked 3 points in the first 15 minutes, and I got moved on to him. Kicked 3 points off me, so he had 6 points at half time. They put Cathal Sweeney on him at half time. Kicked 3 points on Cathal Sweeney 15 minutes into the second half, and Deckyne was back on him. So he had 1-9 by the end of the game. Now we ended up winning it, right? But like ever since, I've kind of I don't know the man, but ever since I've been a fan. You know what I mean? He's a really, really good player, and I think himself, Charlie O coming off the bench, I think Galway need to match that. You know, either have lads ready and then also go over the top. If Galway's bench can outscore Armagh's bench when it comes down to it with 15 minutes to go, I think Galway will go a long way to winning the game.
That's the thing, we probably need to have someone detailed on Stephen Campbell as soon as he enters the pitch.
Yeah, that's what I'd be doing. Yeah.
So final predictions ahead of Sunday. Ronan, why is Sam Maguire returning home for the first time since 2001?
Why is it? I don't know why it's, but like I think we have the better team. Like, you know, we have the better bench. Like as the lads were saying, like we have like the lads come on to kick points. You know, they've done it in tight games before, and I think we have the better 15 on the pitch start. And I'm hoping like for a big game from Shane and Damo, but I think like to Rob as I said, like we'll have a big game. Maybe Matthew Tierney chip in a few points. Like, but I think like that third quarter is going to be massive. Like after halftime, we usually start well, but Armagh start well. But I think whoever gets on top there is going to be massive. But I think like our bench is probably, I'm hoping, is going to be better than theirs, and we'll sneak it maybe by 1 or 2 points.
Is that how you see it?
Yeah, no, like I don't know, is it my heart telling me or what, but I'm very confident this Galway team. I don't know, like they haven't set probably the world alight with the performances that we're used to seeing with them, with Cheney kicking the lights out, but like they're so disciplined and so well drilled. They beat Donegal without much of a fuss. They just went through the whole rigmarole. They just got down, got on with it, and just grinded it out point for point. So I think that will stand to go. I'm hoping that the experience of the All-Ireland final 2 years ago, that they've gone through that whole thing. Armagh, it's going to be new for these. None of these lads have gone through it. It's a huge occasion, 80,000 people, you're walking around. It is going to be hard to reel it in and focus on the start of the game. So I'm just hoping that the lads are fit, and if Galway perform the way they've been going, and Shaney and Damo can contribute a couple of points, I think Galway could win by probably, I'm going to say 4 points.
How do you see it, David?
Armagh by 5, I think. No, same as that. Look, I think look, as the boys and we've all touched on, you know, I think the maturity of the group is going to see us over the line. The bench, I think the boys are laser focused. They're so well set up. I think Galway win it by 2 or 3. Yeah, on Galway.
Just before we do finish, Ronan, like one player, not to single him out that he deserves it the most, but wouldn't it just be great on Sunday to see Paul Conroy climb up those steps?
Yeah, yeah, it would be great. Like, you know, Paul's been a great servant for Galway football. Like, so, you know, he's had a bad injury, but like phenomenal career. Like, he's a nightmare to mark in training, I know, because he's so good in the air. He's just kick passing is unreal. Like, so, it would be great for him, especially to get what he deserves, really. Like, and walk up them steps and lift Sam Maguire.
And just on Paul, it's credit to Paul. He's probably arguably come back a better player since that bad injury in his life. I don't know, is it the experience or what he's changed since then, or maybe the style of football that's going around now. But he's come on better since then. And like the likes of that, the middle third, like can we get points out of the midfield and the half back line are going to be the winning of the game. And Paul finding those pockets, it didn't fall from in the quarter final. He still contributed a point. We got the lucky goal in the semi final, but those points in the pocket from the middle, the midfield and the half back line are going to be huge the next day.
It's been monumental what he's still doing, David.
Yeah, you can't really put it into words, to be honest. You know what I mean? And look, the boys, you know, everyone says you get what you deserve in sport, but there's no man more deserving than of an All-Ireland medal than Paul Conroy. You know, the points he's kicked, the work he's put in, but even, like, I know myself, like, when you come in, like, he's in there, how many years has he done now? Is it 14, 15 years probably? Like, 16 nearly, you know, it's just ridiculous. And the amount of young lads that he goes out of his way to bring along, like, it's not a coincidence that this group has come on as well as it has. You know, he's had a massive say in that. So yeah, I hope he has a great game on Sunday. I have no doubt he will. And I think his performance could be the X factor and get us over the line Sunday. Yep.
Finally, Ronan, who's man of the match on Sunday?
Paul Conroy. I know. It's hard to know. Like, you know, it's. You're putting me on the spot now here. I'd say, like, I said, like, it might come down to Rob Fearley shooting lights out or someone like that on the fringes maybe. It'd be great if it was Paul Conroy to man match. Personally, like, for him, like, it'd be a great achievement and to win the All Ireland, of course. Like, but he's put in so much work, like, throughout the years, like, and as the lad said, he's come back stronger after the injury, like, so even to get that personal achievement, it'd be great for him and his family. I know he deserves it fully, like, you know, if he gets it.
Man of the match for you, Micheal?
I'm going to be biased here now. I'm going to go with Liam Silk from Curfin. I just know, like, because obviously the lads are saying Dylan McHugh could be man marked the next day as a halfback, like, and Liam getting forward. He's probably going to have a tough job man marking himself, but he's going to get forward and hopefully he can keep the scoreboard ticking with a point or two, which is going to be huge in the winning of the game.
David?
Yeah, I'm going to play to the crowd. Paul Conroy, I think, for man of the match the next day. Yeah.
That is all we do have time for, but just before we do finish, thanks a million to everyone who came out in numbers here tonight to Taaffes. It's been great to get out. Thanks a million to Taaffes for letting us host this, and a big thank you as well to sponsor citylink Ireland who came on board as well. It wouldn't be possible without them, and let's hope Sam Maguire is returning to the West on Monday.
Come on, Lundy.